everyone, so welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about interviewing. I went on my first interview for an SDR role with a technology-based company, and I'm super excited about it. And I just want to tell you guys about my experience, some of my tips, so that you guys could also do good on your interview. First, I would like to give a little background about myself, just so you guys can know that you guys can also land an interview without any work experience in sales. I come from a healthcare background. I work in the mental health section, and I've been doing that for quite some time. Outside of working my 9-to-5 job, I actually do have a pop-up picnic company, and I do that during the weekends. Now, it does have some entrepreneur skill sets in regards to sales, talking to people, and providing a service. However, sometimes when you apply for these jobs, they don't really care about the jobs that you do on your own. They really want to know about the companies that you work for. But I decided that because this is something that I'm very proud of, I decided to put my picnic company on my resume. And when I had an interview, I did my best to relate my skill sets as working in mental health, which involves me working with people, identifying their problems, and providing a service or a solution to them. And I also talked about how I am with working with my pop-up picnic company, how you need to have drive, motivation, be able to face rejection, objections, and also how you got to drive in sales. So I made sure that I use both to really tell my story of who I am. So like I said, I think you guys could also do a great job when it's time for you to go on your interview, and just make sure you highlight your story. Like I said, I don't have any work experience in actually being an SDR, but I did decide to take a course called CourseCareers. With CourseCareers, I was able to learn the knowledge, the roles, and the tools that an SDR do. With that information, it definitely gave me the confidence to start applying for jobs and talking about me being in the SDR role, which I'm really happy that I did that, because I was able to gain a prior knowledge on what it's like to be a SDR, and I was able to talk about that a little bit during the interview process. If you're interested in getting more information about SDR, I definitely recommend taking the free course that CourseCareers offer. It's their introductory course, and it gives you a good framework of what SDR is, their roles and their salary, and how you could succeed. It's completely free to take. You don't have to sign up or anything. You just go on their website and click play and see if this career is something that you're into. And if you think it's a great fit, then I definitely recommend taking the course. It is self-paced, and I do have a link in my description box, and you can use my code to save some money off, because that's what I did. So let's just hop into this video and talk more about the interview. I went on an interview with a technology software-based company that provides data services to other businesses. I went on a 3-round interview. The first interview was with the recruiter, and it was actually a phone screen. During the phone screen is probably the less stressful part of the interview process. You're going to meet with the recruiter. They're going to tell you about the company. You're going to tell the recruiter a little bit about yourself. And then after that, the recruiter is going to determine if you are a good fit for the company. And guess what? You can ask as many questions that you want to the recruiter, because that's the opportunity for you as well to determine, is this job a good fit for me? So that's what happened during the phone screen process. After that, we moved on to the second round interview. After that, I went on a second interview with 2 people from the sales team. They were the sales manager, and I was able to get more information about the company, and they was able to ask me more questions about myself. So let's just get straight into the questions that they asked and what you should prepare for. So the first thing they're going to ask you is, tell me about yourself. It's the most popular question that any job is going to ask you. So it's just really important to be able to give a short summary of who you are, what type of work experience that you had, and how does it relate to today, and why you want this role. That's exactly what I did, and just keep it short and simple and straight to the point, and just make sure you highlight anything that you think is relevant or anything that you want the hiring team to know. The next question that I had is, why do you want to work for this company? It's really important to do some research on the company and figure out at least 2 to 3 reasons of why do you want to work there. Once you're able to highlight those 3 reasons, it's going to be easy to answer the interviewer during your actual interview. And the next question is, why do you want to work in sales? So, like I said, it sounds very similar to, oh, why do you want to work here? Because you're applying for a sales role. But the thing is, you need to figure out, well, why do I want to work in sales? I would say try to stick to one reason and you'll be good. Another question that I was asked is, can you pitch to us what our company do to someone who never heard of our company? That was a question that, most people would feel like it caught them off guard. It goes back to researching the company and understanding what the company mission statements are, what are their values, who are their customers, and what service do they provide. Once you're able to get that type of information, it'll be easier for you to explain what is this company and what do they do. And that was one of the questions I had, for me to just give like a short 30-second pitch of what the company is. Another question that I had is about challenges. They wanted me to describe a challenging situation and how did I overcome that. Like I said, these questions are very similar to questions that you're going to be asked in any job. So just make sure you kind of have, what is that go-to story that you could tell of a challenge that you had at a workplace and how did you overcome it? It's just really important to make sure you can highlight your problem-solving skills. So just take some time to go over your resume, think about a challenging situation that occurred, and how you was a part of helping to resolve that problem. If you already have previous experience in sales, that's great. But for people who come from a different work background like myself, you have to get very creative on how you're going to tell this story and how you can make this relate to sales. What does working in teams look like for you? So most jobs that we all had require us to work in teams. So it's just very important for you to think about why is working in teams is important and what do you get out of it, and make sure you're able to elaborate on that. Like I said, it's great to tell stories when people ask you questions. So if they say, what does it look like to work in a team, or how important is working in a team is for you? I'm going to tell a story that's going to answer the questions. So for example, because I work in healthcare, I'm always working in teams. It's very important for us to work in teams because we all are good at different things. And at the end of the day, it helps us serve our patient, which is the client. So I share stories about how me working in teams only help the client. And I also discuss the importance of working in teams and how to work in teams, such as it's important to be open-minded, flexible, to respect people's opinion and feedback as well. All of those values are a part of being in the team and working in a successful, peaceful team. So definitely try to discuss that type of stuff if you're asked the question. How do you handle rejections and objections? Remember, when you are working in the SDR, you're going to be calling people and they're going to give you reasons on why they can't talk to you. So for me, I just talk about when it comes to rejection, it's just important to embrace rejection. Don't look at it as a L, just find a way to see the positive. Rejections is going to happen all the time. You really can't control it. But what you do with the rejection, that's what's important. So for me, the way I would talk about handling rejections is embracing it. Rejection is going to happen. Sometimes it's completely out of your control and you can't do anything about it, and it's okay. It's all about just learning from that experience, but you could also take that time to build rapport with the person who rejected you. I know, right? But it all goes back to just being a person who's just all about communicating with another person. So if this person said, hey, not right now, or I'm not interested, you could just tell them, so what are you interested in? What are your needs? What do you care about? Just by listening and communicating to that person, you're able to hear what's important to them. And let's just say you still don't have the software or the solution to help them. It's fine. Now you gain information on what's important to that person, and you're able to keep that with you. You already build a rapport with them, and now you're able to let them know, like, hey, well, if something comes around on my end that I feel like is a great fit for you, I'm going to reach out to you. So you just always leave that door open of an opportunity and let them know like, hey, I will follow up with you later, or we'll talk later, now that I understand what your needs are. And the third interview, to me, it just reminded me of the second interview. I just spoke with different people. I spoke with people who are like a level up, the senior sales management, and they were really nice to talk to as well. Overall, I would say the entire process was very smooth, calm, and just really chill. I was suspecting for them to ask me a lot of like key terms to cold call or things like that, but it was an actual really chill interview, and I really just appreciate that comfortable and warm experience that I had from the start of the interview process towards the end. So the next part I want to talk about is how did I prepare for the interview? So first thing first is I definitely I've been hearing about this company, so I decided like, okay, this company is hiring. I'm going to definitely like shoot my shot. But first I'm going to like hit up some people who already work there and kind of get an idea of like, hey, do you like your job here? How is the work culture? How is the experience? And I was getting great feedback. The people who I reached out to, it seemed like they loved their job, and I was really excited to see that they was able to grow within the company, and that was something that was really important to me. So I definitely felt comfortable about applying for a job and taking the interview. So like I said, research the company, to prepare for the interview, reach out to people that already work there for either tips or to just see like what the vibes are for the job. When you research your company, make sure you know about the product. Try to find one product that you kind of could talk about a little bit more on the interview so they could show that, hey, this person have an interest in our company. They took time to learn about our solutions, and that will make you stand out. Another thing that I did to stand out during the interview is I created a 30-day action plan on what I will do to be a successful SDR when I start working there. And they were really they gave me good energy and good feedback. It wasn't expected. It wasn't a requirement to do, but I really wanted to stand out during this interview process. So if you guys want me to elaborate more on creating a 30-day action plan for you all, I could create a whole separate video on that. And definitely just do things to stand out, because we want the job at the end of the day. So just present, be that girl, be that guy, The thing is, I took time to really review my resume and my work experience to do my best to tie into my past experience and how I could be a good fit for this role. Hey, we all have skills. We all have a skill set. We all are good at something. And it's just really important for us to be able to highlight that and tell a story when you're doing your interview process. So I did, I practiced a little bit of like what I wanted to say, what was the purpose of my message. Just a great way for me to prepare for my interview. The thing is, I just researched top questions for sales, and I researched general questions. I just was trying to get an idea of what type of questions are they going to ask me. Are they going to ask me about cold call or cold emailing? I wasn't really sure what they was going to ask me, so I just did a big research and I tried to write down a few answers that I could use when asked these questions. As I actually used the STAR method as an approach to answer my interview questions. They talk about the STAR method within CourseCareers, but I also heard about the STAR method from another YouTuber that talks about tech sales as well. So I'm going to give you a little bit about what STAR method is and how you guys can use this on your own interview. So when you answer the interview questions in the STAR method form, these are the key things that you're going to tap into. The first one is S, so situation. You're going to describe the situation, when it took place, and what was involved. So this is basically the opportunity to set the scenario and to set the tone. The next one is task. So as a result of this situation, what needed to happen? So you're going to explain the task that needed to be completed to be able to resolve the challenge. Next is action. So Here, you're going to want to provide details about the action taken to reach the achieved goal. And what here is going to happen is you're going to talk about what was planned, how it was planned, when, and what role did you take. And the last one is results. So you're going to talk about what was the outcome. And this is the opportunity to be able to describe a clear resolution on an ending of the challenge and to be able to outline your situation and really talk about the results and how you overcame it. So using the STAR method really allow you to tell the story and keep it simple, concise, and clear. And I really was happy that I used that approach for answering questions. And like I said, CourseCareers actually talk about the STAR method within the interview process as well. So like I said, definitely tap into CourseCareers if you feel like you just want a little bit more of a foundation when applying for an SDR job. And the link is in my bio and stuff like that if you guys want to join. And the last one, like I said, speaking of CourseCareers also, they do have a module for interviews. So they give you I think two recorded mock interviews that you could watch to kind of get an idea of what does it look like when a person apply and go in an interview for an SDR job. So that was very helpful to be able to go back into the interview section after I already took the course to kind of give myself a refresher on what that looks like and what type of questions they might ask me. And the best part is how can I answer those questions as well. So that was a cool part of the CourseCareers, and I just really appreciated that they didn't only just kind of tell you about the job, but they really talk about interviewing for the job and how to stand out. And like I said, once you even get hired, you can always go back to the course to utilize the notes that they have. So you can actually perform and keep the job. Outside of all that I just discussed, just make sure that during your interview process that you take a nice sip of water, you breathe, and you smile. And you just remember that these interviews are conversations. Really just try to use positive self-talk and just remind yourself hey, you're having conversations with another person about if you are interested in this job and if you're a great fit for this job and is this something that you want to do. Just try to just not dumb down the situation, but just try to lower your stress levels by really just changing your thought process on this interview. Just I'm having a conversation about if this job is something I'm into and if they're interested in hiring me. And when you're able to rephrase the statements like that, it makes you feel a lot calmer during the interview process. So, smile, be friendly, laugh a little bit when you're in the beginning part and, breathe and show your personality. These are regular people just like you and I. And towards the end, when they ask you about if you have any questions, definitely ask, a couple of questions about the company and things like that. But also try to ask one or two questions about themselves personally. So that way they're talking not only about the job and the company, but they're able to tap into themselves and talk about their own personal development and their own personal story as well. Because the whole point is when you're interviewing people, yeah, they're going to see does this person have work experience, but it's also an interview for personality and cultural fit. Can you connect with this person? So the more you talk to other people about themselves and let them talk about their stories, the more you can relate to them and not just relate to the company. And that's it for this video. I definitely hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to create some other videos for you all. Please let me know in the comment section what type of videos you guys want to see, what you guys want me to talk about. So I could just make sure I help you guys also do this transition as well. I think my next video will be about the 30-day plan, how to create your own and things like that, or what tools you can use to create your own. And I will also give you an update about the interview I went on and just share my journey overall. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.